Good evening. I'm Jeremy Jackson, and I want to talk to you about the Global Coral Reef Monitoring Network report that we just completed on the status and trends of coral reefs in the Caribbean since 1970 till last year. I'm really sorry I can't be there, but it just didn't work out. I've just presented the results of this report at the ICRI meeting in Belize, and there will be copies there available for some of you to see. The specific purpose was to recognize that things have been going very badly in the Caribbean for the last few decades, and there's a lot of very grim news out there about you might even say the hopelessness of the situation for Caribbean reefs, and we frankly didn't believe that that was true, and we thought that there was a lot of good news out there in among the bad, and so the major focus of this study was to really get at that. And so what we did that was different was that we worked very hard to compile virtually all of the quantitative data that was available from basic scientists, people doing monitoring and the like throughout the entire wider Caribbean, so that we could establish the status and trends, interpret the results, and then make recommendations for management. And this has resulted in what I would call really a new model for the way GCRMN does business. The first thing is to establish the history of a place, what happened, how much happened, how much did reefs change, why did they change. Then secondly, to synthesize that information in a way that's useful to managers and policymakers. And then the third, to think about the future. So in terms of the major patterns, it wasn't really new. It was just that we did it better than anybody had ever done it before. What we documented was a decline overall from about 40 to 20% living coral cover, and a very profound shift from dominance by corals to dominance by macroalgae. Essentially the covering of many Caribbean reefs by fleshy seaweeds. And the other major descriptive result was that the trajectories of change in reefs that had been well studied for a long period of time was dramatically different, and that it was very clear that places that had taken certain management actions were in vastly better condition than other places. So after we established these patterns, I think, really rigorously, we then went on to look at 4 potential drivers of change, and those included the explosion of tourism in the region, the effects of overfishing, degradation in water quality, and the effects of global warming in association with disease. And the results for tourism were very clear. Unregulated tourism above a certain level is associated with a dramatic decline in coral reef condition. The results for overfishing were, I think, the most important results, because they clearly showed that the shift in dominance from living coral to seaweed was driven by the overfishing of parrotfishes, which are the most important grazers on Caribbean reefs. The water quality data is sort of a teaser. There's not a lot of data out there, but the little data there are suggests that this is a big problem and should be attended to more. And then perhaps the biggest surprise was that overall the signal of bleaching is not the major signal of change in the Caribbean, that instead it's really fishing. I think this is terrifically good news, because I think it's really difficult for any of us sitting in the Caribbean to do anything about global warming in the near term. But we are in the position to do something about fishing and coastal zone management with regard to development and water quality. And what this report says is that it's within our grasp to really make a difference. And most importantly, there are a few places that have really taken action, and from that we have seen the outstanding benefits of their courage. Bermuda banned fish traps in 1990, and then you have the outstanding examples of the southern Dutch islands, Bonaire, and the outstanding efforts of Belize very recently to ban the taking of parrotfish and to work towards getting rid of the traps that make a difference. So the net result of all this is that instead of tearing our hair and being convinced that Caribbean reefs are on the way out, we have evidence to the contrary. We have evidence that lots of reefs are in good condition, and we know why, and we know what needs to be done. And I hope you all will read this thing. I'm very proud of it. It's the result of a whole lot of work, and we look forward to your feedback and your opinions about what it all means. Thanks a lot.